Greetings everybody, here we are in Cambodia and I've got a funky haircut going on. My hair is getting full on out of control. I don't even know what to do with this, man. I don't think I've had long hair like this for a long time. So I arrived in Cambodia, as some of you already know if you've been watching these videos, and today we're at the space that we will be holding the 9th Naked Retreat. January 2018, starting this new cycle in this new unfamiliar environment, which is super beautiful as well. We've just been making some crazy sounds down, some music, but it's just died, so a little opportunity to do a quick transparency video. I'm feeling a little tired, been jet lagged. Last night I had 2 hours sleep, couldn't sleep all night, ended up listening to some audios and getting up in the middle of the night, thought I was asleep, and I woke up this morning. We had to get up at 7 o'clock and I was just completely blasted, and my skin is a little bit wiped and blemished, needs some sun I think. And felt I wasn't drinking enough water, so I wanted to rehydrate my body. And of course, when you start traveling and you move around and go to different environments, your routine, my discipline practices sometimes, fall away a little bit and not so consistent. And then I also feel that. And been feeling a little, that's not the word, not strong, feeling like weak, but like just feeling my body can move more. It doesn't feel like it's been moving enough, and there's more that my body can do. So that's been a thought on my head recently, and we can get so distracted sometimes and in the sort of doing mode, and I forget sometimes to like just really find that real consistency with my body and my physical practices. And that's why I always talk about discipline and how, for me, how beneficial consistent practice is, whatever that practice is. If you're playing a musical instrument, consistency, you become great at it. If you're doing yoga, fitness, meditation, whatever the thing, running, climbing, bike riding, it doesn't matter what you're doing, crochet, sewing, whatever your skill is or the talent that you want to express. Of course, the more that we repeat that consistently, the more able we are to change and make it part of our life. And I've been actually doing fitness since I was 16 years old. I started in the gym lifting weights. I really wanted a six-pack and muscles, because I wanted to have a strong body and look good and be cool. And over the years that moved from fitness and running and bike riding and doing different things into yoga, and now acro yoga I like to practice. And I do this cool exercise called the pyramid. Pyramid is a really cool practice. In fact, I'll show that another time. Maybe it will benefit some of you. It's just where you do 5 exercises and start at 10 and then go 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 of the same 5 exercises, and then work your way down from 20 back down to 10. And you can start lower if you're at a different ability level. And it's it's quite high intensity and really cool on the move little routine called the pyramid. It was given to me actually many years ago by a coach, a training coach, who used to go to the same gym as me. So yeah, personal practice. So that's just something alive in me at the moment, just noticing how I feel when my personal practices are maybe not so consistent. And consistency is an interesting thing, isn't it? I think if you're watching this, we all know how consistency is really beneficial, and at the same time we always come up against resistance to be consistent and to implement new things, implement changes. So yeah. So consistency. Where are we being consistent in our life? And is it benefiting us? Is it serving us? What else is alive in me today? Yeah, always a little apprehension moving into a retreat and greeting new people and welcoming them there, and then about to go on a 7-day dive and 7-day experience, hanging out in this place, creating a safe environment, an environment where we can drop away all of our beliefs and masks and just show up and connect authentically, cultivate the love that's within us and connect to the wholeness that we already are beyond all the beliefs and concepts and thought forms telling us that we're not. And the ego, the ego's identification to form and labels and things, and how we can just really get a direct experience of feeling that beingness of our true nature, not thinking it. I'm a very intellectual person, and being in the head and the thinking is something that I've done for many years. So when you start to meditate more and you drop into like being and feeling, being is all about feeling. You don't think being, you feel being. And I have this little mantra, you might have heard me sometimes, but say this before, but speak less, breathe more, think less, feel more, try less, be more. It's a mantra that my friend Lulu actually wrote on one of her beautiful art pieces, and ever since I first saw it, I've just loved it. It's been about 3 years now, and I have to remind myself of that all the time, because when I like to speak, I like analysing things, I like being intellectual and thinking and so on, but thinking can only take you so far. The ego loves to think, and when we drop into feeling and being, then there's a completely different connection we have to life on all levels. And so when I'm moving into these retreats, I really have to get to a point where I just drop away all that noise and all that chatter, and even if it's there, it's just sort of like it takes a back seat, and then I just show up and see what's alive in the space, and trust that if I've cleaned my transmitter and receivers just even with intention and continue to do my own personal work, then I just trust that I get myself out of the way and I'm not the one doing anything. It's the space is doing that, and that what is needed and what will come up in the space is exactly what is required. There's a big trust that we will come together and co-create this space. Of course, me and Dara facilitate that space and support people and invite different practices and conversation and questions and so on. But these are all just tools and anchors, let's say, of how we can then drop them and let them go and just be more in a place of being here and now, and then witnessing, feeling, observing, detaching, letting go, and then just being here now and showing up and dropping all the veils and the masks and just connecting. And it's a very beautiful experience when you get to really feel that I am, that presence. And then when you get to share that with others, you can't describe it. And some of you may know that for many years I took drugs, and one of the drugs that I was really into was MDMA, ecstasy, pure ecstasy they called it. And then over the years, when I stopped it and I had this sort of the first step into awakening of that sense of ecstasy can be accessed without the need of drugs or any other substance or substitute joy, and how the chemicals, our brain and our body is a natural pharmacy. Yeah, it's like the chemicals are in us, and we can cultivate them the way that we show up, the way we act, and some practices that we use, breath work and movement and so on. And then you start to really feel those. You feel those chemicals moving, and then you get to experience without the need for anything else. And of course, sometimes that takes a bit longer than just dropping a pill or taking something, or even taking, LSD or plant medicine or whatever it might be that opens you. It's more subtle and sometimes takes a little bit longer to cultivate when you're doing it more, let's say, naturally, or without substitutes, without other supports. You're still using tools, but in a different way. They're all tools, I guess, but you're just using natural tools and, touch and eye connection and so on. But it's really, really powerful and really just so rich to be in that environment. So that's one of the reasons why we create these safe spaces, to pull people out of their environments that are not conducive to their truth, not conducive to who they really are. And then in this safe environment, we can plug in more to who we really are, beyond all the noise and the filters and the masks. Feel safe to express ourselves and release our emotions and scream and shout and do whatever we need to do. And in a non-judgmental space, in a very inclusive, supportive space. And then in that, we're doing the inner work, we're doing the personal work, and we're cleaning ourselves. We're cleaning the noise away and the lies, anything that's blocked us from realizing we're already whole, we're already it, we're already enough. And then from that place, we can come from being to create. And that's really why we do this, because we want to support more people to create and contribute to the world from a more coherent space. That's my contribution, to the evolution of our species. It's my contribution to wanting to serve and share love and create a more loving, interbeing, co-creative, supportive community space, right? So we can feel that real connection and that real love and support. And then we go out into the world from that place of wholeness, knowing that we don't need anyone or anything to complete us, and that that's only ever our ego, our ego, that, let's say, that out of aligned ego that identifies to form and wants to be identified by label, Simon, or facilitator, or actor, or teacher, or any other label that we all, And that's not to say that we don't use these labels and names and so on, but we just know that they're just to play in the game. So yeah. So it's really beautiful. I'll leave it there. I've got to go. We have to go for a walk. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're benefiting from these videos in some way. And be here 7 days or more now. I'm going to be on retreat, but when I come out and do another video, see how it goes and share some more. Keep speaking your truth wherever you are. Keep creating safe spaces. Come together with people you love. Create circles. Share through this time of transition. Connect. Check in with what's real for you. Have compassion for yourself and empathy. Listen to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself as you are right now, without needing anything else, becoming anything else. Just love yourself right now. It's a lot simpler than you can imagine. Even if you've got tiredness or stress, or you're judging yourself, judging your skin, judging your body, judging your size, judging your strength, all of that is still the noise. Just love it all and then let it all go. Ciao.